Oh boy, GTA Vice City Stories, a game that I actually like a lot. The year is 2006. 2 years have passed since the last GTA release, at a time in which that was still a long time between full releases. In the meantime, Rockstar has been working on the new main GTA installment, a full reboot of the entire universe and the first installment in a new era. But we don't know that yet. All we know about Rockstar's future is that Rockstar did a table tennis game with their new Rage engine, and it's very unlikely that they will go through all that trouble for that game, critically acclaimed as it surprisingly was. In the meantime, to supplement their income stream, Rockstar needs to have something on the shelves. Making an interim GTA game was the obvious option. However, they also have a bit of a problem with that. See, in July of 2004, just as San Andreas was about to hit store shelves, EA purchased an offshoot of the Canon company called Criterion Games. This sort of acquisition is almost commonplace in the business, but this time it could really come and bite Rockstar. You see, Criterion Games owned the renderware engine, better known to you and I as the thing underpinning GTA's 3 to San Andreas. They had the license for San Andreas already, so there was no need to worry about that, but even back then everyone knew what happened to companies dealing with them. So Rockstar was not inclined to just have the family jewels hanging at the mercy of Electronic Arts. The solution? A new engine, of course. Except that they were already working on one of those, so as far as I can tell, they made their own internal offshoot of renderware. They didn't get sued, so that means that not even EA's army of lawyers could find anything there. Its first outing was with Liberty City Stories, which I am sure I will get to eventually. The difference between this and renderware games? Not a lot. For the 98% of people that did not follow gaming news religiously, it felt just as a mobilized version of the existing games. I am part of that 98%, I didn't even know that this was a different engine. I got the PS2 version, because there was no way in hell my parents would buy me a portable console. So they buy me the game, under some weird assumption from watching me play San Andreas on PC that it's mostly a driving game, and it joins my ever-growing library of 2, which I have already beaten by now. I had 100%ed Gran Turismo 4 at that point, I needed something, anything more stimulating. Vice City Stories was released in October of 2006 for the PSP and March of 2007 for the PS2. The benefits of the slightly more powerful hardware on the PS2 were readily available. The game looked good enough then, and now, throwing some upscaling into the mix, it looks very nice indeed. They also spent some time doing QA, changing the control mapping so it would take advantage of the DualShock, and squashing some bugs. Some bugs. It's 1984. No, not that one. That comes later. Oh, wait a second. I have to engage YouTube mode. I didn't say it would come that much later. It's 1984. A great time for music, fashion, and for being a rampant individualist. So naturally we open on an army base with our dust-wearing main character, Victor Vance. Victor Vance is probably the nicest protagonist of the entire GTA franchise. He goes to the army to get money for his sick brother, comes from a broken family, and overall seems to spend all of the game desperately trying to get out of a hole made ever deeper by people surrounding him. Unfortunately, his method of doing so is piling up bodies until they completely fill the hole and he can pull himself out. We're also introduced to Sergeant Jerry Martinez. He's only the second most anger-inducing person in this game. So let's do the first mission here, not because we want to, but because we don't free roam otherwise. It won't be that hard, we'll be okay. I've been playing this game for years, I'm sure it will be fine. Excellent news! Our protagonist can swim this time. But don't get any bright ideas about skipping to the other island. You'll drown before you make it, and if you try to take one of the boats, it'll set itself on fire. So get back to the base and save. And now you should be able to free roam. I'm not going for a 100% on this save, just a main story percent or whatever speedrunners call it. So there's one of two things that you can do. Neither one will make the other any easier. You can either do 15 levels of Vigilante, or try and get 40 red balloons. I chose Vigilante, because I'm a sadist. Vigilante is a good example of the positive and negative aspects of this game. Go to the police station downtown and pick one of the vehicles. There is an enforcer behind this station, which is the one I use because it gives me free body armor. What did I tell you? Some of the bugs. The suspects in Vigilante expect an experienced player. They will drive quickly, shoot on sight, and steal other cars if given the chance. And, of course, The police don't notice you're on their side when you're dealing with them, so...
Leave me the hell alone!
So that was my first attempt. The second attempt highlights one of the problems in this game. This is your firing rate.
Oh, we want the file!
This is your firing rate in the car. And this is the AI's firing rate. In case you can't tell, the car shooting is very broken here. It's inerrant, merciless, and it will always aim for the tires. You get to exploit it later, but at the moment it will work against you. Especially since you are on a timer to get into another police car before the mission ends, which is how I lost my second attempt. The police vehicle becomes a lifeline. You will be forced to park it somewhere else and come back just so you can do objectives without risking it blowing up. Otherwise you'll be at the mercy of the RNG spawning you one, which it won't. So disregard my original selection and go for the bike. Also, you'll want to stay away from submachine guns. It sounds counterintuitive, especially with so many enemies dropping them. They're also great for gatherings that will turn you into paste on sight. Grab some body armor and you're off to the races, right? And then you hit level 5, which is 2 cars with machine guns. And you have to do 10 more levels after this. However, if you don't have a machine gun or you run out of ammo, they don't shoot at you, they just point their guns angrily, I guess. Ooh, I will scare you to death, look at my gun! From then, just hit their car until they get out, but don't forget that they're still heavily armed.
Stay calm!
Also, that courtesy is hit and miss, unlike the drive-bys. Level 5 is also where the idea becomes unsustainable, as you can only do so much damage to a car by hitting it and you will get more and more enemies. I ran out of time on this one, for example. The game automatically saves your progress every 5 levels. I expect more of mercy than generosity.
It's like giving a glass of ice water to somebody in hell.
Bear in mind though that this is not a hard and fast rule and it will occasionally just throw a bunch of bikers at you.
Hit me then!
Oh goddammit. There are 2 things that you should do after the first mission, Vigilante and Balloon Hunting. Balloon Hunting should be the first as it makes Vigilante much easier. Besides, you can use a guide to find them. People used to have to buy strategy guides to get those. Make sure you search every nook and cranny for those balloons. They will be stuck in places you would expect a balloon would be, but they can range from easy to spot, to challenging hidden, to fuck you, I am on crunch time and this shit came and here's your fucking balloon. As you go through the map, you'll notice that there are some that you can't get because you need a helicopter. Don't worry about them. You only need to get 40 right now, which should net you a decent range of weapons and... This selection should give you an advantage in Vigilante. The weapons will spawn at your save house, so just pick them, save up, pick them again. Now you're ready to suffer. I got a couple of lucky breaks on my final attempt to do Vigilante. First I got 3 straight levels of bikers which I can just hit from behind, and then a group of people that I could just hit from the opposite side of a wall. And level 10 got me 3 cars that were... well, I'm not one to look at a gift horse in the mouth. Levels 11 to 13 were also bikes, but then 14 had cars, which meant that I was desperately trying to throw Molotov cocktails at moving vehicles. Luckily I got one pacifist car. Oh, thank God. That body armor will come in handy. And once you're done with that, go ahead and grab that fire truck and spend 15 minutes or so doing the much easier firefighter missions. This breaks the first half of the game. Now let's get thrown out of the army. First you have to go and meet Phil Cassidy. He's been thrown out by gang members. This will be your first actual fight in the game if you played it as intended.
What the fuck is this?
I feel that I may be underselling the benefits of doing all of this prep work before the story. Then Phil gives you a stinger. Look, I love this car. It appears on the promotional materials, it looks nice in red, it's a copy of the Ferrari Daytona, a replica of which was used in the good seasons of Miami Vice. The game doesn't have it in black, I don't think, but this will be more than enough. Since the game has a nasty tendency of despawning the cars you like and keeping the ones you hate, as soon as this mission is over I'm going to take this car, put it in a garage and never take it out again.
Have you no shame, boy? Are you a moron? Is that it? You're out of here, soldier. You're a disgrace!
They don't let you keep the car? It was my car. It was a gift. This will not stand. Martinez has just signed his own death warrant. I'll store this thing as a reminder to see to that. I'm not going to go through every mission, there's already a million guides on how to pass them anyway. So let's say your first step in getting revenge for my car is to save Phil's booze. Everything that's not a car or a motorcycle has atrocious controls. This forklift, for instance, is awful in the opposite way of San Andreas' forklift. It won't turn for love nor money, and the flimsiest thing will make it bounce. And one too many of those means...
Fuck you, Martinez.
You stole my car! Then we get to meet Marty Williams, woman abuser.
Bitch! Bitch! Get your sorry ass out here! I thought I told you to clean this shit up!
Okay, he's gonna die. You don't get a smoking hot... I think. Woman, and treat her like that. She even wears a leotard around the house for your sorry ass. He asks you to help his fledgling repo operation and you do by repossessing some cars.
Hey! Son of a bitch, that's my car!
Don't take it personally, pal.
You did that on purpose!
Outstanding commitment. Ah, crap. We're in that glitch. See, if you play the game long enough, it decides it's going to stop spawning traffic and pedestrians. Generally a good glitch, especially further on in the story. But then you get stuck like this sometime. Oh, hello.
You wanna see me throwing daggers?
You know, sometimes you just want to let them live. Now let's reboot and keep working for this guy.
Grenades?
I know they suck! This is so morally bankrupting. I have to get this prick a strip club just to save my car. And of course, no sooner I go and do something else that it is attacking, it's up to me to save his sorry ass. Again.
Relax. We've got more than rubbers for protection.
Holy crap, the girls have machine guns to protect themselves. When I come to power of Vice City, all female workers will be required to carry heavy ordnance. This is a great day for personal protection, and free of any future repercussions. Now safe from her horrible house, Louise is able to partake in some fun activities, like a quad race.
Good luck, Vic. You'll need it.
She ain't kidding. The quad bike seems to have trampoline springs for suspension and is easily confused by the bumps it's supposed to clear, so be gentle on the throttle for a win.
Will you call on me sometime, Vic Vance?
Her brother seems to be keeping bad companies, which tell him to go somewhere. I know a trap when I see one, so let me just reverse here for an easy way out. Of course. I got out of it, but swift revenge won't be so swift. See, I can only deal with one asshole at a time there, and Marty has just kidnapped his own wife, and it's up to me to rescue her. Well, he's on his shitty pickup truck and I'm on her shitty wagon. Catching up to rescue her should be easy so long as shit!
I don't give a fuck! Hey, stop, you scum! You can't stop me!
God damn you!
Oh, look who's running!
See how easily can everything go to shit in this game? So, you have to be prepared.
You want a bullet in you?
And this is why you need the body armor.
You gonna be a hero? I'm no gang boss.
In the spirit of that sentence, you take all of Marty's businesses. Oh cool, a BF injection. Those are actually quite rare, especially this early in the game. Naturally, I couldn't grab it, and it only spawned this time on my entire playthrough. This mission opens up empire building, which I really don't think you should do right now. The reward at the end is great, but honestly there's not much point now. It's not like you need the money and... Empire building would ordinarily be a pain. There are 30 Empire sites distributed more or less equally throughout the map. To get an Empire site, you need to blow up the car in front of it, kill every gang member in range, then go inside and destroy everything. However, and just in case you have forgotten, you are both fireproof and have Molotov cocktails. So in actuality, it goes a little bit more like this. I wonder if keeping Victor screaming even though he's fireproof was a stylistic choice. You have a choice of what kind of business you can set up on the place. I generally go for prostitution because the girls have machine guns and they make the most money per investment. And one repo site so I can get an outfit that shows that I'm the only person doing any work around here. A warning though, once you decide that you're empire building, get all of the sites available to you at once. Rival gangs will send hit squads for you. You'll be doing something else and a car will show up out of nowhere. They get more annoying the more sites you have. They will also begin attacking your businesses and forcing you to defend them. Well, I say force. I mean, if you don't just go and save your game or trigger a mission or whatever. Oh, it seems I am just short to get to the business I want here.
You want me to mug
Excuse
you?
me for a second. Okay, here we go. Once you have all of the Empire sites you want, save and reboot the console. Everyone will suddenly be cool with you owning half the town. And you will need the money because the next mission is Jive Drive. Hello, Lance. Everyone, Lance. Lance, everyone. You know Lance. You remember him from Vice City. Smooth talking, fast thinker, had some small insecurities that ultimately led to his downfall. Well, that means he had a lot of character development between 84 and 86 because this Lance is insufferable. In Vice City, Lance was a Philip Michael Thomas at his prime, coming back to a fake version of the city that gave him the chutzpah to claim that he wanted to win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Or the smooth, spiritual kind of vibe that he's running on right now. This Lance? This Lance is the video game equivalent of this. I know you're something special. What? You thought Don Johnson was the only one to have a record deal? No, he was just the only one that made something recognizable as music. And to prove my point, his first mission is a rail shooter with tons and tons of enemies shooting at you. And you're thinking, so what? Well, Lance drives at 15 miles an hour throughout the entire thing. And the car, a copy of the Stinger we lost a couple of missions ago, is not actually explosion proof. You have the AIs firing right now. You're thinking, yeah, this will be easy. If you so much as blow up a car near you, call it quits because that damage meter is now a third full, and you will not make it unless you hit every single target after that. The only reason to do the Empire mission is so that when you die, and you will die, you can just pay the $2,000 to get your weapons back. Oh, no. Don't take the taxicab. You're also thinking that that's a time saver. And you will continue thinking that until Lance ramps the car, destroys it, and you find yourself in the middle of a shooting gallery with no armor. Lance, of course, can die in 4 hits. So no, drive yourself, pick up some body armor, and drive yourself to another try. Finally, you get rid of all the cholos, and you're ready to go. Of course. Well, I have a business here that should have a car for us to go and... Wait, what's skipping him? Oh no, you motherfucker, you're not dying because you're too stupid to jump. Even without a reward, I managed to make money on this mission. I died so many times that my money kept building up. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with him for a while. Luis tells you there is a fire.
Did you call the fire department?
Don't worry. I know where we can get a fire truck.
I didn't ask that. I asked if you called the fire department. We also meet Umberto Rubina from 2 years from now. His missions are actually fun as we race across town on a game of tag but with machine guns. And then we get to cause chaos across town. Well, I say we, I mean me. His boys are eager, but... Maybe if they were asked to hit a barn. With henchmen like that, it's no wonder he sends you to pick up his dad and spare him from an impending attack. It's a tricky mission, you have to sneak through the city streets so you aren't, or just drive around the back roads, that also works. Finally, his coup de grace. Hitting a giant piñata on a cholo warehouse, with me standing guard as, again, I can actually hit something with a gun. You know, his plan hinges rather heavily on them, you know, not just removing the piñata and instead being so taken aback by it that they just... Okay. But sure enough, you can't leave Lance alone for 5 minutes or he will screw you over. He's now set up a meeting with a drug dealer and expects you to come along for the ride. He's such a jinx on people around him that he can't even walk into a burger joint without something happening.
Okay, nobody move! Come on! Hands where I can see him! Do it! I said, nobody fucking move!
Just run by them. Grab the bike and you can jump straight into an ET reference.
Forbes doesn't know you, man. He wouldn't trust you. Let's! You asshole!
This will keep happening.
Oh, bro, what's up?
Vic, you want to hear about a little plan that is going to make us three very rich?
Very rich.
That's a cop. Lance cannot possibly be this Yes, he can. That's Dirty Harry himself wearing James Crockett's suit. He literally drives you into a setup, gives you the worst possible car for it, and expects you to survive as a decoy. Fortunately, if you're smart, you will just go into the airport and wait a bit.
Mr. V, what's poppin', partner?
Fortunately, not my head. Also fortunately,
You! Lance, what's going on? You're a freaking cop!
Lance may not be as dumb as I give him credit for. Look, he even has a stinger. In white though. Nice combo between the two cars. Anyway, you get him out of his car and into a building to get intel from him.
See? Great minds think alike.
Yeah, fools seldom differ, dipshit.
He tells you about an extremely simple deal. And tells you about a contact in a bar. Which means a lot of fighting in tight quarters when it immediately goes south. Again, it just takes 2 of this for Lance and Vic to wise up and go to express their opinion.
What the hell? That's Forbes! Get him!
It's a shame he chose a scooter to escape. And more good news, the data he used to rope Lance in is legit. It turns out all of this talk of a big shipment was correct. Now you just need to get a file from the airport.
Man, that was our file! Who did you sell it to? Some dude over at Terminal C. He got a private jet and a private army.
This is where the Molotov cocktails actually become a liability in combat. See, you'll be facing hordes of enemies now. A Molotov cocktail has a wind-up where you aim. Now there are so many enemies that you will never really have time to throw one. That's what I get for trying to be clever.
Give us the file. Playing it for you.
Meet my
I'm gonna tear you a new ass. Don't get in our way.
Having found a way back, Vic arrives just in time to say that he doesn't want to be a drug dealer while simultaneously getting on more schemes to deal drugs than every other GTA protagonist combined. I actually agree, this is nonsense. You can stop the game right now. In fact, why are we doing this again?
Jerry Martinez. It's his coke.
The Stinger. Get in there, begin killing everything in sight. It shouldn't be hard, it's your town now. 1 million people can build a city. You just need some Molotov cocktails to claim this one. And as that stinger-stealing bastard Martinez shows up, you get the privilege of taking his things from right under his nose. In addition, you are treated to one of the most epic moments of the 3D era. You driving across a bridge with Dio's Holy Diver at full volume while an attack chopper throws missiles at you. Well, it would be that, but unfortunately, YouTube. So let's see if I can find something more appropriate.